The first time I actually started doing bow staff, it was with my older brother Reed's like half a broken bow.
Because it was short enough.
Yeah, so I think I was young and I just picked it up and started messing with it.
What's up, guys? Today's guest is a world champion martial artist and member of Team Paul Mitchell, who is breaking into the acting world. Please welcome to the JAMCast, Mr. Jake Presley. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for making this happen. It's cool that we timed this out because you're actually visiting LA right now, right?
Yeah, I came out here to see my manager and see if I can get any auditions and stuff. I haven't been out here since February of last year, so it's nice to be back out here.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I like when I scroll through your Instagram page, I see so many clips at Jam, and then I'm always reminded like he doesn't even live here.
Yeah.
You just frequent LA, obviously, to like pursue your career and stuff.
Yeah, it's been a blessing to be able to come out here for months at a time. Thanks to Mike and Seth Lee for that. I can just fly out here and stay 1, 2, 3 months at a time.
Totally. Yeah, it's so cool to have those like connections in the martial arts world. Like I feel like the martial arts world, the tricking world, and parkour, it's cool to just have like families and a community to fall back on and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Just like my martial arts family just keeps expanding, every year. I just love meeting people,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so surreal to me too because like, as you mentioned, Mike and Seth, like I've known them since Seth was like a little kid coming to Jam and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and his sister Jen even like helped me when I was running a business at one point, like helped assist me and stuff. So
yeah, was that was it the air wheels she was
yeah,
helping
man,
with?
yeah. But she also used to just come like help me on set on days when I'd coordinate and just, need an assistant and stuff. Yeah, so much respect to their family. They've done a lot for all of us,
Yeah, I love them. Just they have helped me out in just so many ways, They're
Totally.
great.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's so cool to see you guys like actually grown up as adults now. Like you told me that Seth was going to drive you over here, and I was like, I forget you guys are all grown up now.
Yeah,
It's wild. So along the lines of that, man, like where do you actually call home? Like where is home base for you?
So I live about 25 minutes away from Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a martial arts school there.
Yes.
And I just, I work there, I teach there, and I'm about to graduate high school. So
Crazy.
all of that is there, and it's called Lebanon, Tennessee.
Yes. And what is the studio that you and your brothers all train out of?
So it used to be called SMAC,
Yes.
like Success Martial Arts Center, but now we've moved on to it's called Premier. We're under a franchise.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so we're doing. It used to be like Taekwondo, and then we'd also work on the extreme martial arts and stuff. Now we teach like Krav Maga and like kickboxing and stuff like that.
Ah, that's super cool.
Reed and Cole now both work for their headquarters, so they help branch out and help new school owners and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Ah, that's super cool, man. And now one thing that's unique is like I've had a lot of guests on the JAMCast before that were either the older sibling or maybe the first in the family to delve into martial arts. Did you even have a choice coming from a family of two older brothers that competed on the circuit?
I think I did choose to do it, but I as soon as I started walking, they were teaching me how to do kicks and punches. So I was 2 years old probably, and they were just starting me already.
Heck yeah. And now obviously because I haven't had your brothers on the show before, and I obviously want to tell the story. How did your whole family, I guess, get into the martial arts, including your older brothers?
So that started with Reed. I think he was like 6 years old, and my dad wanted to do just some sport or activity with him. And they were in Bartlett, Memphis, and they saw just like an ad, I think, or one of his friends was doing a family martial arts class. So they took it and they loved it. So they just kept going, and then Cole started, and then I think Reed started competing before I was even born.
Probably, yeah.
So when I was 1, 2 years old, I just started doing kicks and punches and stuff, like I said. But they were already in love with it before I was born.
Okay.
Yeah, we were. We actually had a instructor from Memphis. His name was Jason Warren.
Yes.
We just became like great friends with him, like family friends. He's basically like a brother and uncle to me now. So
Dope.
After they met him in Memphis, we ended up moving to St. Louis, and he moved with us.
No way.
Yeah, so he came with us, and he ended up living with us, and we actually started teaching, or he started teaching classes in our basement in St. Louis. So Reed and Cole were training in our basement. I was just being born, probably like, right as we moved. And then we had a few other people in the neighborhood that actually came to take classes there as well.
That is cool, man. That's wild. So how long did you guys live in St. Louis before relocating back to Tennessee?
I think it was about 4 or 5 years. Okay. So we went from Bartlett to then St. Louis, and then to right outside Nashville.
And what was the reason behind the moves? Was it to get you guys to a bigger city for training wise, or what was the reason behind it?
It was actually just, I think my dad was moving for a job and stuff. So,
okay.
yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
family duties. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense. Okay. That's cool.
He had to do what he needed to do, so we could, be traveling and competing and stuff.
Totally. And so how old were you when you, I guess, do you have memories of being a little kid? Obviously, you talk about going around and learning to punch and kick, but do you remember when you made the decision to start competing?
Let's think. So, like bow staff is my specialty.
Yeah, of course.
So the first time I actually started doing bow staff, it was with my older brother Reed's, like half a broken bow.
Because it was short enough.
Yeah, so I think I was young and I just picked it up and started messing with it. So then they actually got me a bow and I just started working with it. I think just seeing them compete, it just made me want to do it, So I was probably like 5 or 6 years old.
Crazy.
And just wanted to go to a tournament. I think I went to what's called, what used to be called the Bluegrass Nationals in Kentucky.
Hell yeah.
That was my first tournament. I think I was like a yellow belt, just did my traditional form, and I just loved it.
No way. That is wild. And so how old were you when you got your black belt?
I was, I think I was about 8 or 9. So I started competing for about 2 or 3 years as an underbelt, I believe, and just moved on to black belt.
Dope. That's super cool, man. That's wild. And now I guess it's so unique, like having older brothers that are already like on the scene and established and stuff like that. Did you always have a goal to make it to Team Paul Mitchell like most of the kids on NASCA?
When I first started, I didn't even know who they were, really.
Okay.
So after I started competing for a little while, I saw them, and I definitely wanted to make it there. Because at that point, they were the best of the best. They're winning, all the sparring divisions and all the forms and weapons divisions. So that was one of my biggest goals for sure.
Hell yeah. No, that's super cool, man. That's super cool. And now I do have to ask, because obviously you brought it up that you are a bow staff specialist, but obviously one of your other brothers, I think his specialty is sword. So what was it that made you stick with bow like over the years?
Well, so Reed's specialty was bow, and then he moved on to double bow.
Yeah.
And then Cole, he did sword.
Yeah.
For like a lot of traditional sword, and then commas. He's a really big comma competitor.
Totally.
And super creative. If you've seen any of either of their like adrenaline battles or their forms, it's awesome. You should check it out. But I think just starting at such a young age, with that broken bow staff, just starting and then seeing Reed do the bow, I just loved it too. Just that's kind of the biggest thing with my story is that. Reed and Cole, I think they kind of picked doing it. I was born into it, but I loved it though.
Yeah.
So it's never really a fight or a challenge. You hear sometimes about how, dads like force like their sport upon their kid, but that's not really what the story was. That wasn't even his sport. He was a super big baseball guy.
Okay.
So I just, I loved it, so I was born into it and I've done it ever since.
And did you ever feel like a lot of pressure being the youngest brother in a well-known family, I guess, of martial artists? Because it's kind of unique. Like I'm the oldest in my family. So I honestly felt bad for my younger sisters a lot of times because there was a lot of pressure and eyeballs on them. So I guess to flip it on you, like, what was that like?
That's a really good question, but I've always used it as just a drive. I've always wanted to be better than them.
Okay.
Of course, I think they're the best, I think their forms are great and they're the best and they're creative and everything, Cole's just, he's probably one of the most creative people I know. His adrenaline battles, he's done some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I just use it as a drive. I didn't really feel pressure. I just always wanted to just, beat them one day. Yeah. But I think I don't know if they're coming back. So this will actually be my first time competing as an adult later on in the year. So that was going to be my time to compete against them and see if I've made my my skills good enough, but I think they might be done.
Yeah, that is crazy. Now, obviously, like you guys training at the same school, are you guys literally each other's primary training partners, or what is the dynamic? I guess training together and knowing that you guys are all competing.
Yeah. So before they moved, because they moved to Knoxville just about Reed moved a couple years ago, Cole moved just a few months ago. Before then, we were definitely all of our primary training partners, and then also my little sister.
Okay.
She is now competing as well, Avery. Yeah. So we would always push each other and we'd help each other out. But now that they're gone, I'm just trying to push my little sister. Yeah, we work out together.
That's cool, man. And now you just alluded to it too. I know 2019 you were able to end the year off by winning 2 ISKA titles at US Open, one for individual, and then I believe the other was sync with Jackson.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super cool. And now obviously 2020 coronavirus was a huge problem worldwide, which we all know about. So the circuit was kind of shut down. Is that correct?
Yeah, there was, I believe, 2 tournaments before it shut down. There was the Warrior Cup tournament and then the Compete Nationals.
Yes,
and I actually
the January, February ones.
Yeah, I couldn't make it to the Warrior Cup one, which is one of my favorite tournaments. That tournament's great, and I couldn't make it because I was actually out here filming a little YouTube show.
Okay. That's wild, man. Okay, cool. And now, obviously, you spoke about it earlier. This would be your first year delving into the adult, I guess, level of competition. What is the state of NASCAR this year for 2021 and everything that's going on?
I think so. They haven't had anything this year, and I think they only had. I think they did have one tournament post shutdown, but it was kind of smaller.
Okay.
And I think their first tournament is going to be in June. I believe it's going to be the Battle of Atlanta in June.
Oh, wow.
And I think there's going to be some tournaments after that.
Okay. And do you have intentions of competing this year, or?
If everything goes well, I'm planning on competing at least at a few of them. That's the plan right now, but we'll see how everything happens.
Okay. And this is a unique question because a lot of the guests I have on here are guys at the tail end of their competition career or who moved on. How long do you foresee yourself continuing to compete? And do you have any goals as an adult competitor?
I think it just depends on how it starts, because I haven't competed, in almost a year and a half. So I want to see how I do first to be able to make that decision. Because, you first think, oh, you have a year and a half. You have all that time to train.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be so good. That's not really how it's happened.
Totally.
I feel I've had, months at a time where I'm training a lot. I'll go 2-3 months. I'm going to the gym and I'm going to our martial arts school every day. But then you get burned out that way. Yeah, if you're working out, 3-4 hours a day, I couldn't keep that up for a year and a half.
Yeah.
So I want to compete for at least this year and next year, but I don't want to force myself to do it. I want to compete because I want to compete, not because I have to compete or anything. But this is also when I can start making a little bit of money when you win.
Yes, I was going to say, there's prize money for the adults.
Yeah. I was, so I started, as a black belt, as we were saying, when I was like 8 or 9, and I've won a fair amount, and I've always like, this it sucks just a little bit.
It's kind of like almost like NCAA sports where like there's so much pressure on you and on the line, and you're getting no benefits of pay or anything like that.
Yeah. It's just so I'm excited for that aspect of it. I could make a little bit of money when I do what I love. I still make some money, teaching and stuff, but it's good to have that professional athlete feel to it. If you're making a little bit of money, feel more like a professional athlete,
100%.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And so obviously with you trying to have goals of competing in the adult division, it also leads to a natural transition into, I guess, finding a career. That's one of the things we talk about with a lot of people on here is like, what do you do post NASCA? And you actually have already discovered it, and you've started to, I guess, pursue acting, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. So I have 2 paths at the moment, and this trip was actually kind of to start the process of figuring out what I want to do.
Okay.
Because, it costs a good amount of money to, make it out here and try to pursue that acting career. So that's what I would like to do. I would love to come out here and act and be able to pursue acting and then stunts as well. But I also will be going to college coming this next semester.
Oh, where? Okay, okay. Do you have an idea where you're going yet, or plan to go?
So there's the college that both my brothers went to as well. It's a private college right by where I live. It's called Cumberland University.
Okay.
And through something called the Tennessee Promise, I actually can go there for 2 years free. So that deal is just so nice, So I'm gonna go there, probably get a business finance degree, so I can go there and also try to make it out here. So I have the next couple of years to decide, really what I want to do. If I want to, take the safer, business route, maybe have my own martial arts school or do something that way, or do I want to make that risky play and fly out to LA and try to pursue acting? That's a hard decision.
It's a super hard decision, man. It's something that I feel like a lot of people, if they've never faced it before, they don't realize how difficult it is to pursue your passion. I feel like 99% of the world just does what everyone does. They go to school, either go to college, or if not, they get like a 9-to-5 job to make ends meet. So it's cool though in the sense that you've actually had some exposure to acting, whereas I feel like a lot of other people, especially from cities outside of LA, they wait till they're 18 or post college and then they move to LA and then finally start to try to audition for the first time. I think what's unique though is that you've already had the chance to be on some sets before and you've already got some on-camera experience. And so of all the jobs that you've done, I think one of the coolest ones was the accountant. Would that be technically like your acting debut?
For sure. I actually didn't even think about acting before
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So how did that come about, getting on like a major motion picture with someone like, Ben Affleck and stuff?
So it was actually through martial arts. There was the promoter of the tournament, Battle of Atlanta.
Yes.
Battle of Atlanta was someone approached him, a casting director approached him and was like, do you have anybody in mind from, that comes to your tournament or the NASCA circuit that you could suggest to come audition for this role?
Okay.
So he suggested a few people, and I was one of them. So I just tried to learn how to act, in the week or two that I
had. Did you really just try to learn how to act in the 2 weeks? Okay. I feel you though, dog. We all get our first break somehow. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so martial arts was a huge factor in it as well.
Okay.
They wanted someone that could act a little bit and could do some martial arts. So okay. I sent in an audition, and then they liked it. So I then drove down to Atlanta and did an in-person audition, and that's where I saw a few other people from NASCA and also saw Seth Lee, and that's how we officially met.
No way. Okay, so that's so funny, because obviously I don't want to ruin Seth's side of the story because I want to have him on here eventually too. But I didn't know that's how you guys officially met.
We knew each other a little bit through martial arts,
yeah.
But that was the first time we officially met, and the first time we actually hung out was on set. We both had to go down to Atlanta for just about a week for some stuff for it, and he was in the trailer next to me, and I had like a deck of cards. So I went over and knocked on the door. I was like, "Hey, do you want to play some cards?" And
that's how young you guys were back then.
I think it was Speed. So yeah, we just we're playing some cards. Yeah,
that's crazy. And now timeline wise, it's got to be very close to around the same year that you got into Paul Mitchell, at least like within 2 years of each other, right? Because I feel like Paul Mitchell was 2015, and then The Accountant had to have been 2015, 2016.
Yeah, The Accountant came out in 2016.
Okay.
So I believe it was right around that same time.
Wow, what a year, man. 2015. Yeah. Holy crap. Get on Paul Mitchell and get in your first movie ever.
Yeah, I think it was 2015 or 2016, yeah, so all around the same time.
That is wild, man.
And I think around the same time as when I did some stunts for the Into the Badlands.
Yes, and I was just going to ask you about that too, and what you got the chance to do, because I'll just tell you from a coordinator standpoint, I was just coordinating reshoots for a major motion picture, and I wasn't allowed to get a kid on set as a stunt person. They only wanted to make him an extra. So how did you get the chance to work on Into the Badlands?
So it was actually myself and my brothers. We went through, I think we auditioned for like an acting role, and also some stunts. And what they ended up doing was having us come to set, and we weren't like we didn't like double somebody or anything like that. We were just part of Into the Badlands. There was like this big fighting area where I think they're like the Clippers and the Colts was what they were called in the show.
Okay.
And they would like fight and train there. So we were in there, and one of my bigger parts of it, I was fighting in like a sand pit.
Okay.
So like the camera would like come over, and it went over the main character's shoulder, and there was this big sand pit, and I just was like had a pretty decent fight scene in the in the sand pit, and there's like all these other people around it like cheering us on. So it's just like a brutal battle.
Totally.
Yeah. So I think I did one or two fight scenes in that, and one of them was against my brother as well, Cole.
Sick.
And I think we had like some stabs as well. I'm pretty sure the shot comes over and it's like Cole just like hitting me in the face with a staff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you got to do The Accountant, and how old were you when you did Badlands?
I think I shot The Accountant when I was 12 or 13 around that time.
Crazy.
And then Into the Badlands, I think, was probably about a year later.
Okay, crazy. That's so unique, though, to get that opportunity as a kid, man. It's something that, like, I feel like everyone would die to have the opportunity to do.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity for sure. It, especially coming into it, not even thinking about trying to act or do stunts. It opened up my eyes to a whole new world, really.
Totally. And now off the back end of that, what made you decide to pursue it further and try to get representation as far as the agent and the manager is concerned?
Being on the set for The Accountant, I think it was about a month on set. It was so much fun.
Okay.
Meeting new people, working on the stunt choreo and everything, and then also acting. Just all of that together, it was such a great time. And also, meeting Seth, he's like a best friend of mine now. Yeah. We got to hang out for a whole month, and we got to meet, I got to meet Ben and, Gavin O'Connor, the director, and like Anna Kendrick, J.K. Simmons. It was John Bernthal. It was it was a great time for sure.
That's super dope, man. And now, like, obviously, living in Tennessee, what is your like acting career consist of now? Do you have to like come out here and take trips regularly like you're doing now? Do you do a lot of like auditions remotely via tape?
I do a lot of, especially with the pandemic now, I do a lot of auditions via tape. But I think it was about a year and a half ago, I got my manager a little bit before that, and then I got my agent, and I was doing a lot of auditions, and it was going well, and I ended up booking like that YouTube show I was talking about. And then the pandemic hit, and then it was just so much time without a lot of stuff. So that's, I came out here, try to get my feet back on the ground. And,
Yeah, that's tough. It's a tough one.
It's hard, especially now I just turned 18. I'm about to graduate. It's tough for sure.
And now obviously you had the chance to get into the industry based off of your martial arts background. Do you find yourself still going after more action-oriented roles, or are you trying to pursue more, I guess, just traditional acting-focused roles?
Because I've done martial arts so long, I wanted to actually try to pursue more of the acting side, and then stunt second.
Okay.
So I would love a role that's, mostly acting, but I also can do my own stunts.
Okay.
So something like that is like a dream of mine, to be able to, be like the main actor, the lead, but also do my own stunts, like a Tom Cruise type thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And now from someone that had to try to learn how to act in 2 weeks after booking a role, what time and work do you put into your craft nowadays? Do you go through acting classes, or how do you continue to hone in on things?
Acting classes for sure, and I do a lot of like lessons through Skype.
Okay.
So I have a few people out here that I'll Skype, and when I'm here, I'll meet up with them as well. And if I have like a good script, I'll Skype them and work on that together as well for like a tape audition.
Okay, cool. And so how long do you have, not to put you on the spot and under pressure, but how long do you have before you have to make this decision of choosing to go to college locally or coming to LA?
Hopefully I can use my next 2 years with the college I'm going to still be able to make it out here some.
Okay.
And do the college. I know that's going to be hard, especially if I'm competing on NASCA as well.
Yes.
So, but I think that's the time frame I've given myself. I'm going to give myself 2 years. I'm going to try to do the martial arts side. I'm going to try to do the college side, and I'm going to try to do the acting side.
Okay.
But now, since a lot of the auditions are, self-tape auditions as well.
Which is great almost, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to help me out a lot.
Okay. That's super dope, dude. All right. Well, hopefully, hopefully those 2 years you'll be able to find some success across, I guess, one of them. So it makes the decision easier almost.
Hopefully that one is, the acting.
Oh, that's super cool, man. And now for, people that are fans of, I guess more so, followers of the show that are younger kids that are on the martial arts circuit themselves and stuff like that. What advice would you have for them, for kids that are looking to, gain recognition and try to get a sponsorship onto a team like Paul Mitchell and stuff?
I think of course, training super hard. You have to, especially coming up, you need to be making the hours, hour or two every day training. You have to be able to have that ability. And then after you have that, just making, friends and connections on the circuit. If you're just going to tournaments and not talking to anybody and not doing anything, it's going to be hard for someone to really recognize you.
Yeah.
So once you're starting to compete, you're training super hard, make those connections, make those friends. Because, especially the NASCA circuit, it's just it's a big family for sure. So you need to make those connections and friends, and be posting on social media and everything. That's actually with our competitive edge team, like my brothers in Jackson. They have their team, and that's how a couple of the latest people that got on the team, they just someone was posting a lot on social media.
Ah, okay.
And it was sick combos. There's a lot of bow staff, and it was like, this guy right here, he's super good.
Okay.
Just stuff like that really helps.
That's dope, dude. Okay. All right. Well, that's I feel like that's super good advice. And now, just to put things in perspective, because a lot of our guests are usually older on here that have the free time to train when they're not working. What's a normal training schedule like for you and having to balance school?
So I'm homeschooled, actually. So
Okay,
that helps
perfect.
a bunch.
Totally.
So since we have our own martial arts school and I'm homeschooled, I usually try to train before lunchtime. So usually I'll wake up, try to do some school, head to the school, train, and then I can come back, do some more school, and then teach martial arts.
Dope.
Back in the day when I was first coming up, before I had other responsibilities, my brothers and I would try to do, especially before a big tournament like the U.S. Open or the Warrior Cup or Diamonds or Battle of Atlanta, all those like super big tournaments, we would try to do like 2-a-days.
Okay.
So try to practice once in the day and the once at night after we taught like our classes at our school.
Totally.
So if you are, an adult with a job, if you only have 30 or 45 minutes a day to work out, use your time effectively. You need to make a plan and try to do as much as you can in that time frame. Like some legends in the sport like Marcel Jones and Kalman Choka, a lot of their workouts used to be like, I think it was 45 minutes long. And it was just like go, 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 go.
Totally.
You can break your form down into sections, and you can do your section like 1, 2, 3, and then your full forms. And if you just go, 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 you can just use that 45 minutes, as effectively as you can, and that's enough really if you can do that every day.
And do you find yourself still finding a balance of pursuing tricking in addition to working on your sport karate stuff? Because obviously at a certain level, you're not going to be throwing all the tricks into your forms to be safe. Do you still find yourself just going out and tricking for fun and trying to expand your skill set?
So tricking has been one of those things that I love to do, but sometimes I let that fall a little bit to the side.
Okay, cool.
So especially this past year, since I was training a lot by myself, I kind of let that fall to the side. But lately, I've been picking it up more.
Okay.
And I actually was at JAM, I think it was yesterday.
Okay.
Or the day before. And I was like, you know what? I've been training a little bit. I'm going to try my triple full again.
Yes.
Because before the pandemic, I was landing it on lock. And I was like, I'm going to warm up a little bit. I'm just going to go for it. And I went for it. I almost landed. I stubbed my toe. And I was like, maybe I need to practice a little bit more before I do that.
Yeah. Just take a little more time getting into trick and shape.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully the next few months I can bring it back. But I have more fun tricking than doing full forms.
Yeah.
Because doing your full form is very exhausting, and it's not as fun as trying to do a triple full or a full snappy or anything like that.
Yeah, totally. And now, how's your body holding up after all these years of being in the martial arts, basically since you were born?
Sometimes it's not that great.
And you're so young. It's crazy, bro.
So the first of my problems started out, I had some I think it's called Osgood slaughters, something like that.
I have it too when you grow too quick in your knees. Yeah.
And At first, I didn't know what it was at all, but I hurt going down on my knee just in any way. So just like putting my knee down on the ground.
Oh yeah.
And it was starting as soon as Jackson, Rudolph, and I started our sync. So we were trying to build our form, and we were trying to get it because, he was a lot taller than me at that point. We were trying to get the levels down to where he would go high and I would go low. And I'd put my knee on the ground and be like, oh, that just hurts so much.
Can't do it.
Yeah. They were like, Jake, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, yeah.
We were trying to like have me spin on my knee. I was just like, I just can't do it, guys. A couple months later, we realized why that was happening.
Totally.
Yeah. So other than that, I've had a few minor injuries, but nothing huge.
Okay.
So I've had a few injuries from not even martial arts. Like I've broken my arm from skating.
It's always the non stuff you expect, Yeah.
I broke my collarbone from playing two-hand touch football outside my school. But other than that, just like minor knee stuff, like some tissue and like my shoulders hurting. I just nowadays, since I'm getting a little bit older, trying to drink a lot more water, and I'm trying to stretch more.
Okay.
I didn't really realize I needed to do that until like last year.
Yeah.
I got up there, tried to do something. I was like, oh, why is my back hurting right now?
At least you're figuring out this young, man, because honestly, it takes a lot of us sometimes until we're like fully in adulthood to realize like, oh crap, I should have been doing this years ago. So
hopefully I'm not too late.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully you're still a little bit ahead of the curve at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's cool, man. And now along the lines of everything that we've talked about, and from martial arts to acting and stuff like that, I'm kind of curious as to this question. Is there something that you're most proud of thus far, or a tournament that stands out in your mind as your thing you're most proud of accomplishing thus far?
Let's see. I think the first big moment that happened in my martial arts career was, so I had a pretty good year coming up to this. I was winning more. I was starting to get it. And then the next year I was at the Warrior Cup.
Okay.
And I was really great friends with Jackson. Yeah. And we were talking about how we would love to go against each other for the Warrior Cup, because the way it works is, they split it 13 and under and 14 to 17.
Totally.
So I was in the 13 under, he was 14, 17. And we were talking about how we, have to win our division, we have to win the runoff, and we have to win the overall. And then after we win that, then we would
go
face
head to head.
other.
Yeah.
So we would be going through. It was like, all right, we won the runoff. And then the next one was like, all right, I won the overall. You got to win the overall now. So then after we both won, it's like, all right, now we're doing this. So I ended up winning that Warrior Cup against him, and then he like lifted me up on his shoulders, and that was one of the best moments for sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's got to be super cool, especially someone that obviously eventually you became a sync partner with and stuff like that. So, yeah. It's a unique relationship. Yeah. Hell yeah. And now before we get out of here, this is a question I kind of ask everyone. I'm interested because you're so young, and obviously we've talked about all the different routes your life could go in the next few years. So where do you see yourself 5 years from now, and where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Ooh, that's a hard question.
Yeah. Especially for young people most times.
So hopefully 5 years from now, I am... that's a hard one, since I have those two paths.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm out here, and I'm pursuing my acting career, and that's going well. That's what I would love for it to be in 5 years.
Okay.
So let's say that. So hopefully I'm out here in LA and I'm acting, full time. And 10 years from now, hopefully I'm doing the same thing. Maybe my body's hurting a little bit from stunts. Say I do 10 years of acting and stunts. Yeah. Maybe I'm hurting a little bit. Yeah. And I this might be a basic answer, but I would love to be married and have kids in 10 years from now. Yeah. So hopefully I'm acting, doing some stunts, and then I can start teaching my kids martial arts.
Dope, dude.
But not push it on them, if they want to.
If they want to. Oh, that's funny, man. No, it's really cool, man. And more than anything, I appreciate you making time on your limited visit out here in LA. But also, I wanted to have you on here just to really inspire younger generations. A lot of the guests that we have on the JAMCast are my age or older, and sometimes it can be a little intimidating to hear these stories of things they've accomplished and gone in the industry, and to see someone like yourself on the brink of, deciding between college and pursuing this industry is something that I feel like a lot of other kids can kind of relate to. So thanks for making the time to do so.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me out here. And anybody out there listening to this, and just really try to pursue your dream if you can. You don't want to be, 10 years out and not pursue that dream, So hopefully I can inspire anybody to either live out their martial arts career, or, maybe live out their stunts and acting career.
Yeah, 100%, man. And hopefully everyone that's watching and listening, we got to hear it here first about your decision, and hopefully in, a few years from now, we'll get to follow up and see which path you chose,
Yeah, I would, hopefully I'm acting and doing stunts by then.
You never know. My last guest that I just had, my second ever guest on the JAMCast was Kyle Cordova. He was guest number 2, and I just had him back for episode 115. And everything that he said in the first episode, he already accomplished in 2 years. Wow. So he said he wanted to stop going on tour and be a photographer, and now he's full-time professional photographer with ad campaigns for Adidas, and just directed a series of videography campaigns for Adidas as well. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, man. So 2-year timeline. Hopefully we'll see what you do in the same amount.
I'll be right here ready.
Hell yes. And anytime you're in LA, man, come through Jam. Hopefully we'll get to see you throw down. So
yes, sir, for sure. I'll land that triple full.
Yes. Hell yeah. So before we get out of here, can you just look into this camera and let people know where they can follow you and stay up to date with your journey?
Yeah, follow me at Jake Presley 01 on Instagram and Twitter.
Hell yes. As always, guys, please be sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe for brand new episodes each and every week. Join us every Monday for Jam Breakdowns and every Friday for brand new JAMCast, interviewing influential members of the movement community like Mr. Jake Presley himself. So with that being said, guys, I got to give one more very special shout out. Thanks for coming through, Jake. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hell yes. And as always, guys, coming through, I'm your host, Travis Wong. Thanks for joining us here on another JAMCast. Until next time, we'll see you all soon. Peace.